Hey, welcome back. On today's episode of Blue Collar Creatures, I'm going to show you how we made our firewall from scratch. See, it's painted. We did body lines going around, break it in the middle, go back down. So this is our first from scratch firewall that we bead rolled and designed. It's 3 pieces welded into one. So
we'll start by showing you how we got the shape of the side profile in the firewall. Right here we start wheeling them out. We already had the pieces cut out, so just go back and forth on the English wheel there to stretch it right there for the cowl, and help pre-stretch it for the bead rolling process as well. So right here we're just putting more shape in the corner to try to fit the contour of the cowl, and here you can already see the metal being stretched out to fit the shape. We're going to speed up the process and let Nick get in on the wheel.
Alright, welcome back. So our next step here, we got our cowl kind of shaped out, massaged to where we need it to. So we've got a rough draft template of the third part of our firewall. It's going to sit in here, something like that. We've marked out where we need to break, and we showed you that in the previous video, but we're going to flip it over and then massage everything into place. Here we go. Blake, explain to the good folks what's the next step here.
Next step is to tack weld them in, hammer them just a little bit closer to where we need them, trim it, and then we make our center piece to fill it in, tack it together, cut it off the car, and then we'll fully weld it on the table.
So here we have a wire butt that we made we bent it to the shape of the cowl for the space that we needed in the middle of the firewall. So we laid cardboard over it to kind of get it a good stencil, and then we transfer that to the metal, cut it out, shape it in the wheel, and then get it tack welded to the other pieces and pull it off and weld it all together on the table.
It's fitting pretty good. And the next step here is to tack it up with the TIG welder, and we'll start our bead rolling process.
So right here, I'm hammering that bottom edge over, rolling it with the hammer and dolly. I started on the English wheel, started to pre-roll the edge, and just here we're finishing it up, rolling it over to about a 90-degree angle, but a nice subtle round edge instead of a solid break. Where once we get our transmission tunnel done, it'll give it a nice little edge to sit on top of. Here you can see our firewall is welded into one piece. We got our edge tipped over. The weld seams are all sanded down. Got a nice shape in the side. So we are ready to mark out our bead roll design and start shaping it.
What do you think of the firewall, Rusty? Thumbs up.
If he had thumbs, they'd be up. Gotta scope it out. So here you can see our firewall is all shaped together, welded into one piece. We marked out our lines for the bead rolls. It's all 3/4 inch tape, so it gave us 1.5 inches in the middle on our lines, and now we're getting ready to run it on the bead roller, shape to the firewall, and weld it in.
Alrighty, Blake, so it's all bead rolled up. What's the next step here in our thought process?
The next step is to straighten up any imperfections and straighten up the body line that we put in it.
Right.
Any warping that happened during the stretching process of running the bead roller, which quite a lot usually happens. So now we're just going to be straightening out the powder with the panel. You see the line there, so we'll get the English wheel in there and smooth it out.
Hell yeah. Alright, Blake, show us that finished product. Well, not finished, but you know.
These rolls are ran in it. Just got to straighten it out.
Next, we're going to weld the firewall into the cowl. Blake has already gone through and he has hit it up with the English wheel, working out some minor imperfections while he was doing that. Also, if you look on the back, we went ahead and prepped the paint just to help prevent some rust, and watch us put this thing together.
Well, that's a wrap on the firewall episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe.